Welcome back to the Avenue. This is the channel where we trade financial regrets for financial options. And today we're going to talk about a topic that's raising some eyebrows, and that is whether you retired before 65 or you retired after 65. Some of the retirees are going back into the workforce. And it's not all bad, but it's something that's a little different, that's raising eyebrows. So we're going to jump right in and find out what's really going on with these retirees that's headed back to the workforce. Stay tuned. Let's be real, retiring before 65 sounds amazing. I have friends that say that they're going to retire at 45, 50, 55, and a lot of them say that they're going to retire before 65. It's an amazing thing to do. I retired well before 65 and even well before 60. But I'm finding as I talk to my friends, I'm seeing them, at the gym, casually, maybe in some areas at the stores, and they're telling me that they're having part-time jobs, or they went back to work, or they're working for different organizations now. And I'm wondering, I'm hearing more and more of this. So there's a large group of retirees that are going back into the workforce. And it's not all bad. Some of them don't have to go back. Some of them want to go back. But I will tell you, the number one reason people are going back into the workforce after you retire is because of finances. And it's not because necessarily that the numbers were miscalculated or done wrong. But let's face it, guys, things have changed. The economy has changed. We have a new president in office now. A lot has changed. The stock market has been up and down, up and down. Things are getting higher. Inflation is up on us, and it's not letting us go right now. So there are various reasons why people choose to go back into the job market to work, because it could be something such as a gap. If you got out too early and you didn't realize that you were going to need some money to carry you over until Social Security hit in, or until something else started kicking in, you may have just jumped a little too early and not calculated it just right where you could make it. And if you find yourself in that position, go back to work. There's nothing wrong with that. Find something and go back to work, even if it's part-time. Some people are going back part-time. Nothing wrong with going back part-time. Some are working a full day a couple of times a week. Nothing wrong with that. And if you did retire from a job, you have experience, that you worked a while, you have experience. Experience means you may get tapped on the shoulder as a consultant. If you were great at what you did, there are companies out there, startup companies and companies out there just in general, that need and want your help to have them to grow even faster. Because just think, if you bring 10, 15 years of experience into a new company or to help in a specific area, you're giving them that much time in a compressed amount of days, hours to help them grow. You've been through some things that they're going to go through, so because everything isn't necessarily changing as far as hiring people and managing people, that type of thing, just because other things are progressing. We know technology is changing, but there is a personal effect to some of the things that we do. And when that is missing, your expertise maybe in that area will help. You know how things run, you know how things are supposed to go, you know how to treat people, you know how to get the best out of people. So your expertise may be needed. That may be a reason that you say yes when someone taps you on the shoulder to say, I need your help. Would you come and consult with my company? That type of thing. So it's not all bad that people are going back to work. And there is no shame, let me tell you, in going back to work. Some people retired in order to do something different, such as I retired in order to do something different. I was doing real estate when I was working a 9-to-5. Now that I'm not working that 9-to-5, I'm a full-time realtor. So that's one reason why I retired. So I retired to something. Not everybody retires just to sit on the porch. Today's retirement, you guys, not like your grandfather's retirement, not like your grandmother's retirement. People are more active. They're wanting to get back out there and do some things. Plus, when you retire, you don't know really what to expect. You've heard some things, but you don't know exactly how it's going to go for you. And you get out there a couple of years, maybe a couple of months, maybe a year or so. But normally in 2 to 5 years, most of the retirees, or a large majority of them, are headed back into the workforce. But you retire and you think things are going to go a certain way, and stuff may shift on you. There may be some expenses unexpectedly that comes up for you that you need to go back to work to meet those. So there's all sorts of reasons that the retirees are headed back into the job workforce. I know for some, when we retired, inflation hit. The cost of the groceries and the things that we're buying, clothes and everything, wasn't as high when we retired. So when inflation hit and it stayed up, that hit us in a different way. We were not expecting that. Sometimes health costs sets in, and that's another reason that some people may want to go back to work. There's some things that go up, or you realize that, oh, this health care is a little more expensive than what I thought it was going to be. Because when you're at the job, HR usually estimates it for you, but you don't really know exactly what it's going to be like unless they tell you before you leave. And then once the dust settles and you see how that bill is going to come in, or if once you leave there you have to go find health insurance, that may make a difference right there. If you have health issues you have to take care of, that's an expense that you may not have had while you were working. Everything may have been 100% covered. Who knows? But there are various reasons people go back. Also, when people retire, guess what? You have more time. You have more time to think about things. You have more time to just discover stuff that you like to do, stuff that you want to do, stuff that you never had time to sit down and really enjoy. And once you discover some things, if you're good at it, you may think, I may want to dig deeper into this and maybe start making some income with it. Such as if you like taking pictures, never had really time to take pictures, but now that you're retired, you have that extra time. You can take classes, get good at photography, and guess what? People may need photographs taken of them. If you like to video, people online, a lot of folks are wanting videographers these days. That's a great space to be in right now. But if you didn't have the time because you were going to the 9 to 5, coming home with the family, now that you've retired and that's something that you want to do, venture out into, take some classes and learn the business, learn how to make money and go off into that. Nothing wrong with that. You're adding value to someone else's life. You're adding value to the world by the things that you want to do. But sometimes we just didn't have the time while we were working to go off into the things that we really wanted to do. And so there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And so people are going back into the job market doing things just like that. Sometimes, believe it or not, people are just simply bored. They have enough money coming in and they are just bored. The inflation didn't really hit them, move them. But they left the job, they left their friends. The friends are still there working maybe. They may not have grandkids or family to spend time with, so they're in this house, they're in the apartment, wherever they live, and they run out of things to do. When you first retire, you have a long list, clean the house, do this, do that. You have a long list of things to do. At some point in time, if you run out of that and you really don't have extra things that you want to do or people that you want to be around that you know of right off the bat, and if you don't have places mapped out to go travel, you may get bored. And if you get bored, you don't want to sit at home. You don't want to get depressed. So you start looking maybe to volunteer and maybe to go back into the job market. I know in our town, our city, you can volunteer at the library. They're always needing help at the library. Of course, there's librarians that are paid, but they solicit folks that either retired or have a little extra time to come in and take some shifts at the library. And it's a great thing because they need the help. In my city, there's a kids section that I went and volunteered when we opened up our new library. I went and volunteered there, and the children, they were running all over the place, and that's where they needed me. So that's where I stayed for the day. I would rather have not been there. The first time I went, I was a greeter. I love greeting people, meeting people, seeing all the faces, telling them about the library. But then the second time when I went, it's like, well, we need you here, Adrian. And it's like, okay. And I was helpful, picking up toys and watching the kids, make sure they didn't hurt themselves. And the parents were supposed to be watching them and in there with me. And for the most part, they were. But I learned a lot about little children, 2, 3 years old, and toddlers. Probably a little bit more than I wanted to know, but I volunteered at the time there and was glad to be there and do so. But these are things, if you get bored, and I wasn't bored, I just wanted to help open up the library in our city. But if you get bored and you're retired, don't just sit there. There are opportunities out there for you to do something. Some folks just want to be around other people. They want to talk, they want to meet other people. They just don't want to be at home. They're the type that's outgoing. And when they retire, things may not work out like they thought that they were going to work out. They may not see their friends as much as they want to see their friends, or relatives as much as they want to see their relatives. They may not want to see their relatives all the time, but they want to be out there meeting people and doing things, And when you go to the mall and stuff, you really don't meet people. You go there, you can walk around, that type of thing. But, you want to be there, maybe camaraderie in a group, being useful to somebody somewhere. And so they go back to work for those reasons whatsoever. They really don't care what the salary is. They just want to be around. And it may be a light schedule for them. It may be a couple of days a week. It may be part-time every day, but they enjoy that. They enjoy getting out, making a contribution to the community, making a contribution to the world just in general. So it's nothing wrong with that. That's a great reason to go back into the job force. Now, if you're over 65, under 65, doesn't matter. Don't have to go back to work, but you do have to hit that like button and that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on the latest information as I'm bringing it to you. And if you are at that age that you've retired, no matter what age you are, and you've gone back, for a few years and maybe stopped again, or you just gone back and liked it, or if you haven't gone back, if you decided, no, I'm done, I'm staying at home, I'm good. Drop a comment. I'd love to know what you did. You know what I did. I retired and then I went 100% into my real estate business. And so drop a comment. I'd love to know what you did. What I am seeing a lot of, and it makes total sense. I am seeing a lot of people that have retired that's starting YouTube channels. They're talking about their journey after they left their job. Some of them are very, very young with young kids. Some of them are a little older, but they're giving you their experience once they leave that job, what happened to them, how they handle it, what they had to do, maybe show you places that they're going to visit while they're retired. But there are more and more retirement channels popping up on YouTube. So it's very, very helpful because I wish I had some of these channels before I retired. Like I said, when you get out, everything is going to be different because every person is unique. Your situation is different. You're an individual. And just because it worked that way for someone doesn't mean it's going to work that way for someone else. So we know on this channel, we want you to be financially secured, but that doesn't mean that there are other areas such as social areas, mentally prepared to retire, that you have to deal with in your retirement. And if any of those creep up and you feel like, okay, my way back to normalcy is to go back and get a job, whether it's working part-time, it could be online, it could be seasonal. It could be, you work at a certain, when school is going on and then you're off. There are a lot of people go back as teachers' assistants. So to help out with the schools because they need good people to help out with the schools. People that settle down and not going to get unnerved about the students or what the students do. So there are various cases, various situations where they are needing people with experience, needing people that may be a little older or have that job experience that they can use in other places, that can keep a level head, that's been out there, that's done that. They've been in the workforce before, and not a lot really rocks them or moves them when it comes to stuff like that. So keep all of that in mind because that is a part of retirement. But like I said, there are numerous new YouTube channels popping up all over YouTube about retirement. So if you're contemplating retirement, of course, stay here and learn about the finances, but there are other channels that you can go and look at so you can learn more and more about this retirement game before you get out of that job. Let me say this, going back to work could actually be a game changer for you. All you may need is that extra $20,000, $30,000 to get you over the hump, to help you sleep better at night so that you won't be worried about certain bills, certain unexpected things that may have come up. So there is no shame to your game as far as going back to work. You do what you need to do for your financial situation, for your mental situation, for your social situation. All right. And with that, I will see you in the next video.